Good day, everyone. My name is Marjan Mascardo, and welcome to my presentation on the Society, Education, and Philosophical Foundation. I would like to greet my beloved teacher, Mamaan Kaluskusin, and this presentation is going to be relevant for our society today, especially in the 21st century. Now, without further ado, we're going to talk about the society, education, and philosophical foundation. So, we're going to talk about the how the society and education are connected. Education is not just about learning subjects, okay? It's shaped by the society we live in. So we have the focus and social theory in education. We will going to look at the ways on how sociologists explain why school exists and how they work. On the second point, key frameworks, we have the consensus and the conflict theory, two main ways of looking at the education. The one is focusing on the unity, and the other one is the inequality and power. Now, our objectives for today's presentation is simply by the end of this lesson, the students will able to learn, explain, or able to explain the main idea, assumption, and proponent of the consensus theory and conflict theory. And also, they will able to construct a comparison chart constructing consensus theory and conflict theory, and also appreciate the dual role of education as mean of societal cohesion and social transformation. Now, on the next slide, the social context of education. The education does not happen by itself. It is influenced by things like family, culture, money, and power in society and religion. Education does not exist in isolation. Schools are part of society. They are reflect society's rules and values. And also, schools are deeply influenced by social structures. For example, a school in a wealthy area has more resources than the poor one, isn't it? And also, the social theories explain three key dynamics. We have the school, why school exists, why do we have school at all, you know? So, meaning to say, it is to prepare the citizens and worker to pass on culture. Number two, how education functions in society. Schools shape behavior, skills, and social norms. And number three, who benefits from the society or from the system? Some groups may have more opportunities than others. So, in social theories, help us to understand both good and the unfair parts of the education. Now, consensus theory, the pursuit of order, is eventually the proponent for this one is Emily Durkheim, born in 1858, was the pioneering French sociologist who studied how shared values and social institutions maintain order and stability in the society. For some reason, the core concept, society is held together by the shared values, norms, and belief. Meaning to say, people follow rules and agree on what is right and wrong. And also the systematic or systemic view, society is a system of interdependent parts working together. Schools, the families, and the government also depend on each other to keep society running. And also, Emily Durkheim believed that the goal achieve stability and harmony through cooperation. So, Everyone is cooperating and makes society stable and peaceful. And because of that, the role of education plays a unifying role in maintaining social order. So, the schools teaches values and behaviors that help students live together peacefully and responsibly. So, think of it like a football team or a basketball team. Okay? Everyone has a rule, follows the rules, and work together so the team succeeds. And also in education, helps us to learn these things as a theme rules for the society. Okay? Now, in the next slide, the consensus in the classroom. Um, let's see what this theory looks like in the classroom setting. We have the socialization, teaching discipline, respect, and responsibility. If the student doesn't have discipline, respect, and responsibility, the students uh, might able to not learn at all. Why? It's simply because the teacher and students relationship has been broken. So the students learn to follow rules, like for example, be on time and respect teachers and classmates. Okay, that is part of the socialization. Also, the transmission of culture, the passing on traditions and national identity. Schools teaches language, history, celebration, and that are important to the country. So, it also teaches moral education, shaping civic responsibility and moral behavior. Students learn to be honest, fair, and caring citizen. Why? It is because it is a preparation that training individuals for specific social rules. So meaning to say that students gain skills for the future job and adult responsibility. Okay? Now, what about the teacher's role? Teacher's role is acting as a moral guides and authority figure. Okay, that is why teacher is so crucial in the classroom setting. Teacher is the role model for the students. And because of that, when teacher has been the role model, good behavior, and guide students on what is right. That is one of the example of the rule of the teacher. It is like a teacher guiding you not just in math or science subject, but also in how to be a good member of the community. Now, our next slide is that the critical analysis consensus theory. Consensus theory has strength and weaknesses. The strength is that emphasizes social unity and cohesion. So the students helps work together and promote peace. Also highlights the importance of shared values, meaning to say everyone knows what is expected of them. So what about the limitation? The limitation is that it is ignores inequality in education. Not all students have the same opportunity or resources. Okay, and we will going to learn about this area later on. Assumes shared values benefits everyone equally, meaning some of the students may not feel included or represented. All right, so overlooks power dynamics between groups, meaning not everyone has the same influence in deciding what is right and wrong. Now, it is like saying if everyone follows the rules, society is perfect. But it doesn't look at the students who don't have the same chances or support. Now, the conflict theory, the second one, the power and inequality. Conflict theory was developed by Karl Marx, a German philosopher and economist born in 1818, who analyzed how power, wealth, and social class struggles shape society and its institution, including education. So, he believed that the core concept of this one is that society is characterized by conflict, not harmony. Meaning, society has winners and losers. It is not always fair, okay, according to Karl Marx. So, the divide is that the struggle between those who control resources and those who do not have. What he's trying to say is that in community we have rich and poor, powerful and powerless. Okay, so according to him, the role of education, it reflects the interest of the dominant social class. Okay, because uh, because of the focus, uh, the power dynamics, inequality, and in class struggles, the education often reflects who is in control, according to Karl Marx. So the conflict in the classroom, in the practice, this shows how the schools like this one. Number one, we have the social reproduction. Schools pass on inequalities from parents to children. What about the hidden curriculum? Lessons aren't just a textbook. They teach obedience, punctuality, and acceptance to the rules. Now, now what about the credentialism? Credentialism, it is the degrees that can limit who gets better job. Okay, so again, if you are poor, you don't have the capability to go to um, a prestige school, but and then your credentialism will going to affect. Why? It is because the degree can limit who gets better job. So what about in economic function? Education uh, prepares students for the workforce, often ways that maintain class differences. Okay. Now, teachers rule. Teacher may intentionally support existing inequalities because they are following the rules. So, in effect of that, the teacher's rule is may support the existing inequalities. So, a school in a wealthy area may give the students access to better teachers or technology and programs, while students in the poor areas get fewer opportunities. And conflict theory help us see this gap. Now, in the critical analysis of this conflict, the conflict theory has a strength and limitation also. For the strengths, expose injustice and equality in education, shows how school linked to economic power, and also encourages students and teachers to think critically about society. Now, for the limitation is that overemphasizes conflict, may overlook cooperation, underestimate social mobility, meaning some people can move up despite inequality, and then may ignore positive experience like teamwork or supportive teachers. Thank you for listening.